Hey, it's Lou and Daryl. Welcome to Irregardless. The whole reason I named this crazy thing Irregardless is so I can say that word and aggravate people who don't like that Boston Irregardless word. But
Down by the harbor,
uh,
you're saying.
going to Harvard. So, Daryl, thank you for being here. Daryl Stewart, my longtime friend and neighbor to the north.
A little cold, a little snowy up here.
I can't believe it. It's snowing in May, even in Canada.
I know.
That's unusual, isn't it?
That's nuts. It's
So,
nuts.
so we are live on Facebook. Thank you so much for joining us. And we're going to talk about some interesting stuff today. This is not the usual run of the mill. Liz says hi. This is not the usual run of the mill, irregardless, where I usually go in and don't have any idea what I'm going to talk about. Today, we have a special guest, and we're going to talk about fear and stress and video fear and being camera shy and introverts and all that good stuff. So, Daryl, tell the folks just a little bit about your background in case they're new to you, and I'll do the same when you're done.
Okay, cool. So my background is I used to be a social worker, and I would.
Oh, you okay?
Oh, hold on.
Yep, you're still there.
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just. I actually opened up the Facebook by mistake. Sorry. It's like.
Yeah, and then it's like,
Okay,
hey, I'm on TV.
Clap. So what? So what do you tell? So let's just. What do you tell people when there's a mistake or like something happened like that? What would you
Just
do?
keep going. Just keep going.
That's what I feel.
Yeah.
So hi everybody. So my background is in social work. I worked with high-risk people for a lot of years. I think it was like 17 years, and I got into coaching. And specifically around releasing stress and anxiety. So I would find common patterns around people where they were feeling stress and anxiety, and I would help them release that. And one of the things that I realized is that I had to get rid of my phobias, my fears. And I talked about that in a posting today about my fear of being seen and being in the spotlight, because I always thought that I was going to get judged. I was going to get criticized, ridiculed. So I had to go over to the side and deal with all of this. And then Lou, you popped up with like how to make videos. And so that's where I started to get to know you and start getting over my fear of being seen and being judged and being perfect.
Yeah, no such thing.
No such thing.
Excellent. Well, thank you for being here, because obviously there's no stress or anxiety in these days right now. Everybody's cool as a cucumber and there's nothing to worry about, right?
Well,
hey, James.
Hey, James.
So we're going to talk a little bit
Hey,
about
Angela.
that. We're going to tap into a little bit of your expertise and talk about, hold on, let me get rid of this thing here. I'm still trying to produce and direct behind the scenes. So let's...
Lou, who are you? Like, what do you do over there?
Oh, yeah, I do video marketing. I've been doing online video since 2005-ish.
Oh, awesome.
Which is unusual because I am also an introvert. I am camera shy. I don't like being on camera. I'm more comfortable now than I was a few years ago, but
yeah,
I would much prefer to be behind the scenes, which is what I did when I worked in the TV business. I was never on camera. I was always on the other side of the camera. So between the two of us, we know a few things about camera shyness and video fears and things like that. So let's start with, why do we even need to do this to begin with? Why the hell do I have to do video? Why do I have to be on camera? Why is it more important now?
So my question, like, on that is like, and I'll ask you, Lou, it's like, why did you decide to get in front of the camera? And my big thing is that I have gifts. We all have gifts. We have things that we need to help people through. And so I feel that part of the success is to get over our fears, which I have a lot. I'm shy, I'm introverted, and people think I'm an extrovert, but really I'm an introvert. So my focus is to help other people. And I feel that video, public speaking, being out front of a camera, whatever it is going to help you get your message out there.
Yeah. And that's really why I started as well, because I had to practice what I was preaching. I was telling folks, oh, video, TV, video.
What was that? Can you repeat that, Lou? Practice what you're what?
I had to practice what I was preaching.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I can't tell folks, you need to do video. Video is the best way to build know, like, and trust. Video is the best way to increase your visibility and awareness of you and the products and services you provide. I couldn't tell people to do that if I wasn't doing it myself. So, put your money where your mouth is. And I started doing videos. At first, I would do anything to take the attention off of me. I would put, at the time I had a pug named Stella. Stella the pug would be in the videos. My kids were younger. I'd put my kids in the videos. I'd dress up in costumes, anything so that I didn't have to be the focus. And eventually I did that enough so that I didn't really have to worry about it anymore. I just kind of started to figure it out. Steve says he's also camera shy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, and the other thing, no, I'm sorry, go ahead. Oops, did you freeze?
No, I was just thinking that, no, I'm there. I was just thinking that if we don't do our own work and we don't get in front of the camera and help our ideal clients, the people that we need to help, then I feel that a lot of people, like for me, if Lou, if you weren't there, then I would have been walking aimlessly trying to figure out how I could show up in a stronger presence, have a purpose. And you just popped up and, hey, come and join me on this 30-day video challenge. And I'm like, okay. And then it pushed me to look at how I was keeping myself small and in a box.
Yeah.
Because that was my whole life, feeling trapped, feeling small. And so you opened the door to help me get over my video shyness, and I'll do almost anything on camera.
Yeah. So
I told somebody to buy me Jane Fonda leotards. I will go on the video.
Really?
If you buy them for me.
All right, that's there. That's out there. So you can't take it back now. It's on video. So I know that Jane Fonda from what was that movie with Duran Duran?
1980s.
Yeah. So, and she did all that. All
9 to 5
videos and stuff like that. Barbarella. She did this movie called Barbarella, and the bass guy was named Duran Duran, which is who the band Duran Duran was named after. So that's your trivia for today. Hi, Patricia from Switzerland. Patricia's here. So
why is it important to do? Lou, why is it important to have progress versus perfection in video making? I know that's not one of our questions, but
no, it's you can't really hit perfection. If you wait for that, you're never going to do it. You just got to pull the trigger at some point and go out there. This is Facebook Live. There's little glitches. There's a delay, so I have to wait a second when I hear the questions. And as Patricia says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And Nancy says she remembers seeing the video. Daryl, she remembers you from the video challenge a few years back. The thing is, if you do that, like in the video challenges, we get to practice within our private Facebook group. So it's a relatively safe space where we can test and experiment. And you start to do videos day after day, even if you're just popping on Facebook Live, you get a lot more comfortable with it. You get over it really quickly. And again, the only way to really know that stuff is to do it. And the last thing I'll say about that is now more than ever, I think you'd probably agree, we can't do in-person networking, whether we're an introvert or extrovert or whatever. We can't go to live events. Video is essentially the only way we're able to connect and network and do this right now. Yeah.
And people get to know us super quick because they feel our energy. They know what we're talking about. Well, sometimes sometimes I don't even know what I'm talking about, but they get our personality and they get our quirks and our oddballness. I don't know if you're an oddball, but I feel like I'm an oddball. And, that's what people like to see. They don't want perfection anymore. They want authentic people showing up. And with I have a lot of flaws, but I'm still showing up and helping other people as you do.
Yeah. So. Nancy says she's finally getting to the point she'll get out of the nest and do it. That's the idea of the video challenges. Is okay, guys, you've done this for a month. Now go out and do it in public. The other thing that's interesting that I'll share just from the beginning why I wasn't doing video earlier. The thing is, I was doing video. At first, I was really stiff and serious and stuff like that. And then I was working with one of my coaches, Sue Geyer, who does this thing called Core Essences. And she says, look, one of your core essences is that you're funny and you're a wise ass and you're humorous. Yeah. So once I started putting that in the videos, everything clicked. So it was a lot easier to do that. So the next topic for us, and I'll ask you, how do video, public speaking, and general communication skills make you magnetic to your ideal clients? Ooh, that's a good one.
As we show up on videos and allow people to see who we really are and show parts of our natural personality, I think that allows people to be drawn to us. And it's just that first step of allowing people to come across a bridge with us so that they can start working on their issues. Like for me, people come to work on their stress, anxiety, and their money issues. People come to work with you around videos and making great videos and dealing with all that stress as well. Yeah. So I feel that video or public speaking, it just allows us to show up in a totally different way and step into our power. I feel like video, public speaking, and communication skills allows us to be in our power.
And speaking on stage and speaking on video are vastly different, as you know.
Totally.
They're almost like different.
But it's the same. I feel like there's same limiting beliefs behind that.
Yes. If you're camera shy, you probably have stage fright as well. Yeah. So, if you are an introvert, how do you tackle that?
How did we tackle this?
Yeah, I'm going to ask you first, and then I'll see if I have anything to.
I think that. For me, I remember. So I definitely did my own personal work, and I looked at why I felt like I was going to get judged, why I felt inadequate in front of others, why I felt that people were going to laugh at me and throw stones or throw tomatoes or whatever it was. And I just worked on what was really the core rooted issue around showing up in the spotlight. So I had to do that work for sure. Yeah. And then after I did that work, I started to really break it down. And I said, can I go and do 10 seconds, 20 seconds of a video and just say, hey, my name is Daryl Stewart, and I will do this on video. Do for 10 seconds, do something for 10 seconds or 20 seconds. It breaks down that barrier between you and allowing yourself to have that connection with your ideal client or that person that you want to talk to.
Yeah. And I'm trying to remember, I think it was Michael Port. I don't know if he said it first, but I heard it first from him. He said you have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. I mean, that's the only way growth comes, is to get out of the comfort zone. And I mean, it's not always easy, but the more you do it, the easier it gets.
How many videos have you done? I think I've done over 1,000. At least.
Yeah, I mean, on YouTube alone, I have close to 2,000. I don't post everything on YouTube. So
wow,
I've done a bunch. And I've done off-camera videos as well. I mean, those are just, it's just a different way. But at some point, like especially if you're doing a video for your homepage or what I like to call a welcome video, the people want to see you. They want to know the person behind the website. And I know, this is another one of the great questions and topics you came up with, but widely held fears we all have about being in front of others and how we look and sound. The first time, and maybe, when you were little, you heard yourself on a tape recorder and you're like, that's me. Remember the old cassette recorders where you'd have to push play and pause? And the first time you see yourself on camera, you're probably like, whoa. Yeah. And you are afraid of being judged or, oh, what are people going to think? When I realized, and please jump in here, but when I realized that people don't care, aren't paying that much attention to me, they have their own deal, their own shit to deal with. It's like, why would they criticize or worry about me when they're worried about themselves? I'm like, don't worry, they're not judging. They're too busy judging themselves, probably.
Yeah, totally. I think the thing that I mentioned in a posting today about this whole just showing up and talking to you is that I think the fear of being seen was when my dad died when I was really young. I just felt like everyone was looking at me, and I didn't have the resources to deal with all those emotions. So people were looking at us, oh, his dad died and all that. And I just had this fear of being seen that started there. So I had to work on that major trauma for me.
Yeah.
And because I've done that work, I even this year, it's like I sometimes get a little squirrely on camera, but then one of my sticks now is to come on camera and do my drunk older twin brother from Nova Scotia there, boy. And we're going to have a pint of beer, and we're going to talk about the stress and just talk about the anxiety, and we're just going to have a fun old time before I fall on my floor. And it's like, I don't know where that came from, but when you allow yourself to come out on camera and be yourself, then it attracts people, and they know that you can be silly. Like, I think it's important to have fun and be silly. Period.
Yeah. Right. You don't have to be serious all the time. God knows we're not. And the other thing that I think for me, it's just part of getting used to how you look and sound on camera. Once you see that, and once you get over that initial shock, it's just kind of like, especially now with Facebook, because it's so easy to go live, to just pop on. Facebook, I think, is the easiest way to do video because there is less judgment and criticism, and there's not quite as many trolls as there are on YouTube. And essentially, it's sort of like, it's a come as you are party. I like to think of it as you don't have to worry too much about all the other bells and whistles. You're just kind of like, all right, I'm just going to show up and chat and see how it goes.
And I think about when we do the videos, I think we all feel when we're first starting out is that all of those bullies or those people that didn't respect us or support us are going to show up and watch our videos. And I think that was the big thing for me. It's like all those people that said, oh, you're not good enough. You don't deserve this. You need to go and hide out there. The finger, I have to, where's my finger? I can't even get my finger on the video. But it's like, you need to go hide. And it's like, that's what I felt like. All those people that didn't recognize me or see me, they're all going to show up my friggin' Facebook Live or my videos and point their fingers. And they didn't. They didn't. But if you have a fear of not being enough, not deserving, or not good enough, then that's going to be a block from you from allowing this to happen. Have the videos, have the public speaking, doing all of those things in public.
The other way you can look at it is like, look, most of the people I work with, and probably that you work with, whether they're coaches or book authors or speakers or whatever, they have a message to share and a gift to share with the world, like you said, and you're depriving the world of that if you don't put yourself out there. So I sometimes say, look, you don't want to be on camera? Come on, stop being so selfish. It's not about you. It's about them. It's about what you have to share with them and your message.
And so I will even go even further, Lou. I would say that if you don't allow yourself to get through your fears and phobias about video or public speaking, you're being neglectful of your needs and neglectful of your ideal client, because you're sitting in a small box being scared to come out and show everything that you have to the world.
Good point. Let's go on to this because this ties right into it. And I'll ask you first, how do you tune into your authentic part of yourself on video?
So I grew up in Nova Scotia. They're up there by Eastern Canada. And I said to myself like this, and they had the little beer and all that stuff. And I feel like I have to talk about the fun and all that stuff and the fiddle music. So what I did is I looked back at my childhood and what I really enjoyed doing and seeing and all that. And everybody was hanging out, throwing the cards around, having the beer, and all of those trusted accents came out. So I just allow that my authentic past to come out in everything that I'm doing and honor that.
And Angela says, and it's a good point, limited beliefs and stuck emotions can definitely start from childhood or trauma.
Totally.
I used to blame my mother for everything, but now that she's gone, I don't. It wasn't her fault. So, and the other,
how do you tune it? How do you tune into your authentic part of yourself?
I think eventually, if you do this enough, you forget that the camera's there, and you just sort of become yourself.
Because you're pretty oddballish on
I'm
video.
definitely quirky,
and
awkward. You know, like I'm like, all right, well, it's awkward. I'm awkward. It's okay. Nobody's gonna, die here. So,
no.
And eventually, like I say, some folks I tell, like if they're really freaked out, I'm like, just have a glass of wine and then just loosen up a little bit, and not a bottle all at once necessarily. But, so yeah, that's the thing. Just you have to really just kind of forget that the camera's there.
Yeah.
One of the good ways to do it, oddly enough, is to do an interview like this and bring somebody else in, because when you're playing off somebody else, you're not only sharing the responsibility of what's on video, but you're also, you also have somebody to bounce ideas off of and go back and forth. So I think that helps a lot too.
I think the other thing I do sometimes, and I just look at Beyonce, and she has the whole Sasha Fierce persona on. When she gets on stage, she zips up her Sasha Fierce persona, and sometimes I use my drunk older twin brother, and I zip that up because sometimes I don't want to go on camera, but I just allow him to go out there and tell a story with his lovely accent. So part of this process, maybe you need to zip up a new persona, that highest self, or that person that you want to be, and zip that up right now so that you can start to go on camera and help other people.
Yeah. I did a series a while back when I didn't really I wanted to share these video tips, but I didn't just want to do them straight. So I got like a little beret and these big glasses, and I was Cecil B. DeMoron from Hollywood with video tips from Hollywood. I wish I could find the glasses, because they would help those hilarious big giant movie director glasses from. So yeah, I mean, you can be silly and you can have fun with it. It's just video. It's not that serious. So what do you mean I don't have an accent? What are you talking about? Wicked smart. That's why we call the show Irregardless.
Can you say that again? Irregardless.
Irregardless. And I say that, the Pilgrims came over from England and landed on Plymouth Rock or whatever. We were the ones who were here first, and we talked right, and you guys went west or north or whatever and screwed it all up. So I don't know where you got the Nova Scotia accent. I haven't, that's another whole story. So,
well, I think the people from Nova Scotia went down to Boston because there was jobs back then. So I think we could have family. We could be like distant cousins, maybe third.
That's true.
Yeah.
And I think the people from Nova Scotia stayed in a lot and played cards and maybe drank beer, because, summer is like a week and a half long there. So Angela says the German go, all right, I do have a little bit of an accent, I guess. I know that Siri doesn't understand me half the time. And when I try to do captions on YouTube, forget it, it's gone. So one more question before we wrap up.
We have another question?
Ooh. Did we do? Yeah, we went through 7 questions. Awesome.
Really?
Let me see if I missed anything. Nope. So next steps in creating the life you want through video and public speaking. All right, this is all yours for now. What do you think? People say, all right, I'm going to try it. I haven't been to a networking event in 2 months. I haven't been to a conference. I'm going to go on video. I'm going to go on the Zoom social hour, whatever it is.
Yeah.
How do people get started with that? What are the next steps?
I think the next steps realistically is to do a mind map. So what I mean is just take a piece of paper out and write down, if it's about a fear of being seen or a fear of the spotlight or public speaking, write that in the middle of a piece of sheet, circle it, and write down what's connected to it. Because there's probably limiting beliefs. There's probably specific events that have happened in your past that are blocking you from showing up on video and public speaking. So those things need to be addressed. From my perspective as a specialist in stress and relieving stress and anxiety. And then what you can start doing is taking small steps to create a video and do a Zoom training or whatever you're working on. What do you think, Lou?
Yeah, I mean, you like you said, you gotta do the inner work before you go out, before you get out there, and kind of get past that hump. And again, like you said earlier, people are not, that. I mean, maybe they are that judgmental, but they're not worried about you, and they're not worried about what you're saying on camera. They're just too busy. They got their own stuff to deal with. It's like the thing you always thought, like, oh my God, they're all looking at me. They're all going to laugh at me or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, nah, they're not. You're not quite that important.
But I think if we own our, say, I feel, you feel quirky, I feel awkward and an oddball. So if we own all of that, whatever that means to us, then allows other people to feel safe around us and work with us.
Yes. I like the expression, introverts unite, alone separately at your own homes. So, but hey, we're all stuck at home for the time being. Well, sort of. I don't know what the deal is up there, but this last couple of months has been really challenging and interesting in a lot of ways, because even if you are an extrovert, you don't have as much opportunity to get out there. So we need video to stay connected, socially and otherwise.
Yeah. I'm starting to do like dance offs in the evening. I think I want to go over on TikTok because I think it's just super fun to do.
Yeah.
And I want to be goofy on air, because I guess the thing is that I was so serious all my life, and I thought, and it just felt like a mask because I was too scared to show who I am. So I'm just showing all facets of myself, and I think that's important for all of us to do, because I think it's important to have so much fun these days.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. And some of my favorite Zooms lately are these little Zoom happy hours or group yoga, or my friend Laura does a pitch and prosecco on Wednesday nights. So
cool.
You can grab a drink and relax and chat. And I think even moving forward, regardless of what happens, irregardless of what happens, this is going to continue to be a really, really important tool to connect and to build know, like, and trust, and more importantly, to get your message out to the world.
Now, what are you working on right now, Lou? Because I know you just finished, I think, a 30-day challenge.
We did a video a day challenge in April.
Yeah.
And now we're going to do a create your video marketing plan in May, which is good, because you really, you can, it's fine to just do Facebook Lives and to kind of do this or that, but at some point you really kind of want to have a plan and a strategy and say, what is this all leading towards? What's my goal? What's my objective? And how can video get me there quicker? Cool.
Are you having other challenges showing up, or?
I mean, there's going to be a video challenge within this new course.
Perfect.
So, but we don't necessarily have to make a video a day. We had like 90 plus people in the last group, and they made, because I counted, over 400 videos in 30 days.
Wow.
So
that's
pretty good. Some of them for the first time. So what do you have coming up, or tell folks how they can find you and stuff like that?
You can find me on Facebook. I have a couple of workshops coming up around God and God wounds. And I'm doing a craving workshop with another person. Everything is working with other practitioners or people in the community to help people. And I really don't feel like I want to do things on my own, because it's important to create a community and do things together. So those are the main things that are coming up. And just trying to help people, reduce their stress, reduce their anxiety, and help them in their businesses. So I love it.
There's plenty of anxiety to go around. So
I know
you're going to be busier than ever. Are you doing? I assume that those are not live; they're virtual, right? Online, the stuff. The workshop.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing virtual workshops and programs. And if anybody needs, I have 2 free resources around reducing stress and anxiety. One is the one that you can use if you're walking and grazing in the kitchen. Because really grazing and eating too much, which I think a lot of us have been doing, is about disconnection and not having the love that we want, the hugs that we want. So this will help you calm your nervous system down. And there's another one that will help you with your intuition and work from a heart-based place.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That
so
sounds awesome.
I can leave those for you.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much for being on and doing this. This was a much more interesting and engaging Facebook Live than we usually do. So I appreciate it. We got some good stuff here. We had a lot of folks tuning in. We'll replay it right on Facebook. And
Awesome.
I appreciate it. Have a great weekend. And thank you so much for being here. And we'll catch you next time.
Bye,
Bye,
everybody.
guys.